anyone curious, I've had a 2015 Roush, had a 2011 Mustang. I've drove a lot of different kinds. You could say I'm a little biased because that's all I've ever owned, but I don't know. I tend to try not to be biased. I just like Mustangs for the story mainly. And I mean, my dad was a big part in me liking them. But as far as handling characteristics, this is the best one I've ever had. Yeah, I mean, it's got the handling pack, it's got the Magnaride dampers and all that stuff. And, I mean, it rides pretty rough, I will say that. And, I mean, I've watched like Throttle House and a bunch of other car reviews on the Mach 1, and I think it's kind of slept on, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that because I have it, but I got it because I wanted a budget GT350. And that's basically what it is. I mean, you don't get the flat plane crank, but you know, you have a reliable Coyote, relatively, where it's a Gen 3. Right there a little bit. I mean, it's got plenty of power. It don't have as much as a GT350, but you don't have to worry as much about oil consumption issues and stuff like that. That was a cop. But I mean, you got the reliability relatively. But man, does it ride rough. Like, it's in normal mode right now, and it does ride rough, but a lot of that might be these Tennessee roads. It's got enough tech. It has more tech than I would really like in a car, to be honest. One of these at least, a muscle car. It's stuff you got to worry about later on down the road, but hopefully not. One thing I will say is the handling is great. The steering feel is mid. I mean, I believe that a Camaro does have better steering. I feel like you feel more, but I don't think with the Mach 1 it's basically the same as a GT PP2 steering feel wise. I mean, it could be worse. Why didn't you go? No. With breaking loose a tiny bit. I mean, traction's not there like it needs to be. It's fun and it never really gets old. I mean, I would like to put a Pro Charger on it, and maybe if I do good enough with this whole media thing, we'll kind of see what happens. But I mean, I think it's a pretty good car. It definitely gets a lot of attention. It doesn't help that this thing's bright red, but you know, every car has that stigma, and this definitely is one of them. Now this car does have the, you know, it's got a rear seat delete, and that makes it feel a little louder, but all I've done is put an H-pop on it. It's got a suitcase of a resonator underneath it. If there's any S550 owners or S650 owners, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm going to go, and once I get a little better and learn what I'm doing a little better, I'm going to go and do a review on the car, and I can talk more